I'm going to show you how I do a double hammock. I'm going to use my 4-year-old because she lays a little bit more still, but the principle applies no matter what age the baby is. So we start off center, so the middle marker is going to end in the middle of my chest. I probably want to have this fabric in the middle of her back around about here. So I go and place the fabric across her back, get your baby, or your big kid, and swing them onto your back. Now I start off my double hammocks as though I'm doing a rug. I get both tails and I bring them both over my shoulder. What I want to try and do is create a really deep and supportive seat. To do that, I want to pull all of the excess fabric down to the bottom. I don't want the fabric to be bunching around under her shoulders or near her neck, because that's just going to make it uncomfortable for me. So I'm going to reach my hands through the inside of her legs to grab this bottom rail, and that's going to force her legs out into a nice wide squat, and the fabric's going to spread from her knee to knee. I'm going to hold the top rail in my teeth while I do this. So as you saw, I grabbed the bottom rail and I pulled the wrap down so that all of the excess fabric came underneath her bum. And then I kind of pulled the wrap underneath her and back up between my back and her belly while I swung her there to get her legs right down into the seat. So now I've got both tails over my shoulders. I need to move the long side, which happens to be my right, under my arm. I get the left side, which is the short one, and I pass it over the top and then pin it between my knees. Now I'm going to start by pulling the top rail and the bottom rail nice and tight and across my chest. But when I get over to this side, I'm going to focus on the top rail for a moment. I'm going to pass the top rail from my left hand over to my right and kind of feed it up over her back. Sort of like you do with a towel when you're trying to dry your back. Now I have to sort of pass the bottom rail up there a little bit to help. Now what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the top rail from this side and I'm pulling it across my chest and feeding that slack over to the other side. So I'm pulling down and across and then pulling with my right hand up and out at the same time to get that top rail tight. Once that rail is tight, we focus on the bottom rail and we do the same thing. I pull the bottom rail across my belly, I pull it tight and I pass it to my other hand. Now again, I want to pull all the excess fabric down to keep it supportive, and I want to tuck it over her bum, under her bum rather. Alright. Now I want to do the last tighten, and so I kind of pull the bottom rail and the top rail on each side to make sure we're nice and snug. I bounce her in there. Now I bring the shoulder straps over her knees. I cross them under her bum, and then I tuck the fabric back under her legs to tie it off. So we can see that the seat goes right from knee to knee. That's because I pass my hands between her legs. I've got a really supportive seat there with all of the excess fabric under her bum. The chest passes really tight, so the bulk of the stress of carrying is being transferred to my torso and not on my shoulders. Thanks.